I feel like as long as I manage apartments and own property, I am going to have story times. All right. I don't know if I ever told y'all the story about this couple that moved in and I saw red flags. I saw a whole field of red flags the minute I met them. Let's get into it. So, boom. This particular couple, I had not met them yet. The owner of the property, he started giving me applications because in the past he had run into some people that they were not good people. So I'm like, look, whatever background check program you're using, it ain't flying. So let me use the one that I use. So he would give me the information on the potential applicants. I go through there. I'm seeing all kind of issues, as in, hey, if y'all been together and y'all giving me previous addresses, y'all giving me two different addresses. So if you say I lived on Apple Street last year, he says I lived on Duncan Street last year, but then 2 years ago you say you lived on Duncan and he said on Apple. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't even get their lies straight. And on top of that, if I'm trying to contact your job, and I understand that companies cannot tell you anything about the person, the employee, however, they can verify employment. Like, yeah, they do work here, or no, they don't work here. In this case, I was having a hard time getting through to these employers to get proof that these people work there. All right, go through all that. Well, the time comes for us to meet the couple. The guy didn't come, the girl did. She comes with her child. The child, and I'm going to say it may have been the lady's sister or something like that. And when I tell you that was the most out of control child I have seen in a long time. Not a horrible child, but just out of control. As in, no discipline existed in her life. At my age, I have learned children will tell you the whole story without opening their mouth. Because the average child, and I say average, there's some very genius children, but the average child does not know how to articulate their unhappiness or the stresses they're feeling around them. So they act it out in different ways. And when I say the mom is over talking to the owner just as calm, oh yes, I've been working there for so and so. Talking like they out at the beach wiggling their toes. While this child is all over this apartment, she in the closet, kicking on the doors and the walls. She moved from room to room, hitting on light switches. She was in the bathroom trying to hang on to the towel bar. She in the kitchen climbing in and out the cabinets, talking about peekaboo. Now me, again, I'm old school. I'm ready to snatch this child up and remind her, you are a child. You're going to just sit down somewhere. However, I'm just there to accompany the owner. If he's present, I stand down and let him handle business. If I'm the only one there, I may say a little something different. Like, you need to understand X, Y, Z. All right, moving on. The woman says, okay, well, the boyfriend can come see it later when it's time for us to sign. So at this point, the owner's like, okay, cool. I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'll be leaving the country. So you're going to be dealing with Tracy hereafter. So y'all exchange phone numbers, so on and so forth. But if you want us to hold on to this apartment, you need to pay $500 to hold it. Y'all, that's when Mo flags start popping in. She says, okay, well, can I Venmo you? He says, yes. She pulls it up. I'm trying to Venmo. Something wrong with y'all Venmo. I'm sitting here like, ain't nothing wrong with our Venmo. So he's like, well, I don't know. I'm going to try it again. She's trying it. She's trying it. So I said, okay, well, let me see. Now, for those that don't know, I've been in technology for at least, at this point, probably 40 years. So she shows me her phone. And I say, hey, sugar booger. It's not Venmo and it's not us. It's you. You see that little thing popping up? It's saying problem with funding source, meaning you're having issues with the bank that's linked. Because I'm going to still be real cool because I got to be professional. The non-professional part is like, girl, you broke. You ain't got no money. You trying to pull money from an account. Ain't no money in it. However, I'm professional. So now I'm saying, oh, it's probably an issue with the bank. Maybe, the electronic thing is shut off. Or maybe you got security turned on. You can check it. Oh, okay. In the meantime, this child is still wreaking havoc. The person she brought with her to keep an eye on the child had given up. She was sitting outside and kept trying to bargain with the baby and everything. That baby wasn't listening. She running back and forth. Now, for context, the little girl may have been like, I give her 3.5 to 4. She was in there. So old enough to hear what you have to say, as in you can be obedient and sit down when I tell you to sit down. Anyway, it got to the point where that child ran the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it upon myself. I go in the bathroom, and this is when she was in there grabbing onto the towel bars, trying to hang on to him. And when I say I grabbed her little arm, and, it's nothing where you're going to be abusive, but it's like a little firm grip, as in, you going to listen to me. That's what you going to do. That little child all of a sudden straighten up. It was that correction fear. She hadn't been hurt. It was the fact that she got caught. So she comes out and she crying, and the mom was like, okay, we'll go out there with auntie or whoever the woman was. Fast forward, the owner's at the end. He's okay, well, it was good to meet you, so on and so forth. And right now, the child, she done wiped away her little crocodile tears. She back inside flipping the light switches. I said, hey, don't do that. Everybody in the place stops and looks, because I can change my voice when I have to, right? So now the mother's like, well, let me go ahead and speak up. All righty. All that goes to say, to me, that was a flag, because this little child, it's not a bad child. But there's something going on where, she's telling me what I need to know. Well, time goes by, a week or so go by, and now it's time for me to meet the boyfriend. He's very aloof, very distant. The girl seemed like she was a little more, enamored with everything, but he's just like, hey, whatever, I'm here. And, yes, this is our daughter, and da-da-da. Okay, fine. They move in. It must have been not even a week later. Tenants call me, Miss Tracy, we heard gunshots in that. What? Would you hear gunshots out of new people? They just got there. However, I knew this. Backtrack. I wasn't going to say nothing to the owner. However, the day before, he actually left, and I was getting ready to say, hey, I'm going to be the one dealing with this paperwork. Let me give you all the warning signs that I see. And I did. I listed all of them. He's feeling like, oh my gosh, this is bad, but I'm about to leave the country, and I just really need to rent it out. So I just hope it works out. That's how he left it. All right, dude, I warned you. Fast forward. They're telling me they hear gunshots. I called to say, hey, Miss Ma'am, let's call her Trina. Hey, Trina, I got a call about there being gunshots in your apartment. Yeah. She's hemming and hawing, so I'm gonna be nice about it. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe y'all dropped something and it broke, and you didn't expect it to be that loud. That's what it was. I didn't think it would be that loud. Okay, then. Well, just so you know, that's how fast other tenants are gonna call me and let me know what's going on, because they're all trying to protect their unit and make sure that they can live in a safe environment. Okay, understood, Miss Tracy. Boom. A little bit of time go by. Here comes another tenant. Miss Tracy. There's cops outside. They got the boyfriend. What? All I can think is this owner, he gonna have to listen to me, because I don't be making stuff up. He sends me video clips of this boyfriend being arrested and being taken off. I says, all right. So I wait a little while, and I call Miss Trina. I said, hey, Miss Trina, what's going on with the boyfriend? Oh, it's okay. I says, well, no, they told me it was police involved. Baby, here comes the crux of the story. It took me a long time to get here. The bottom moral of the story is that was a bad dude. That was a bad dude that she should not have been with. Come to find out, yes, he was the baby daddy, but they really hadn't been together. This was their chance on trying to get together and live together, because it hadn't been working out. In this particular instance, it sparked because he wanted to use her car to go pick up his new girlfriend. And because she said no, he flips out and tears up the whole apartment. Empties the plants, turns over all the plants, just breaks up the place. What? She goes on to tell me that his actual plan was to figure out how to get her out of the apartment so him and his new girlfriend can move in. And when she wouldn't agree to let him use her car to go pick up the girlfriend, he flips out and says, okay, you know what? I'm going to call the police. Basically, he was going to blame her and then have the police declare her unfit to stay there in the apartment so he can take it over and live there with his girlfriend. However, when he shows up, the police sees and hear her side and all this, that, and the third. They end up believing her and took him off to jail. So she ended up having to file a restraining order. The full audacity. The audacity. Where do these people come from? So here you go. Ladies, gentlemen, if you are with somebody and it ain't working out, let it not work out. Don't keep trying to put lipstick on a pig. Stop doing that. You're trying to force something that is going to come to a head at the wrong time. By then, you may have a child involved. You may have property involved. You may have money involved when all you had to do was what? Walk away. Let it go. Either get comfortable being alone or just accept that there's someone else in this world that is meant for you. Because at some point, you have to love yourself enough to walk away.